kind of a chilly day. You're going to laugh at me, but it's 55 and it's got a wind chill of 45. Now that's as cold as I ever want to be.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous because it's 21 here. 21.
Oh
It
my
feels like 21. It's 30
God.
something, I think, last time I looked.
Well, I love all you guys in Kansas City and my kids, but I'm really glad I'm not there. Thank you very much. And
And we are all jealous.
my sister's up in Park City and it's like 12 degrees there.
It's even worse.
Gosh, a person's just not
Crazy.
supposed to be that cold. Miss Kathy Weaver, good morning. Good morning. We're glad that you're joining us today. I love it that you come on just about every week. I don't think you've missed too many, and I appreciate that so much. Hey, Karen is on, and I don't think, Dr. Laura, that you can read that, right?
Actually, it's popping up so I can see it.
Oh, it is. Okay, because
Yes.
I didn't know if it would show on your side. So we're back to using one of our other platforms. Y'all know I sort of switch between because I'm deciding which one I like the best. So any of you, if you have comments about that, I've done that. The other one I can't remember. Kathy, you would remember better than me. So Dr. Laura, I need something for brain focus. Like, oh my gosh. It's funny because my sister would tease because she'll bring up a subject and tell me all about this. And I'll say, are you sure I was there? And she'll say, yes, Delinda. She knows more about my life than I remember. And I don't know why that is. And so it's not Alzheimer's, because it's been that way my whole entire life. Just certain things I don't. But then later, and what she talks about, oh yeah, now I remember.
Okay.
Just what I can say. So we have a new guest with us this morning, Dr. Laura Christine, and I'm just so excited to have you with us and sharing your knowledge and fun. And
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Tell us a little bit about you. StreamYard. Yes, Kathy, that's it. StreamYard is one I've been trying. Zoom, of course, and then Be Live, which is what I'm on now. And the reason I prefer Be Live right now over Zoom is that Zoom doesn't show anybody in the chat. And I really, 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 really love it when I can see who's chatting and who's saying things, because I feel like then we're more interactive. This is our morning coffee clutch, for lack of a better word, right? So I have my tea. Hopefully you guys have your tea or coffee or water. What you got? You got
your water.
No.
I'm not a tea drinker.
I'm a water girl like you and Kathy. I'm on Kathy's water family.
You're in the Kathy family.
I am, and I love that because we're spiritual sisters already, and so being in the water family too makes it all the better. So
yes.
Anyway, so tell us about you.
Okay. Well, I have been married to my husband Jim for 31 years.
Cool.
We've been together for about 35. Even though I'm 27, it feels like 35. I've got 3 kids. My oldest is 27, 25, and 21. My daughter's the baby. Her name's Megan, and actually she is a senior in college right now.
Oh.
So we're just trying to get her through, get her out into where she's going to be.
Right.
So and then like you, I have my big furry dog, Miss Bella here. I'm hoping she doesn't bark while we're on, but she's hanging out with me here. She's an 85-pound bundle of love.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's a little bit of my personal stuff. I've lived in Kansas City. I'm actually from Chicago, and we've lived in Kansas City for 25 years.
Oh wow! So Kansas City's really home now.
Yes.
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 Yeah, gotcha.
We like it, and you'll laugh. It's the weather is more mild than it is in Chicago. We like it because of that.
Yeah, I lived in Chicago for 10 months, and then I was so glad to be gone. It was the coldest. It was so gray. I really could not take the gray. The gray was just gray, cloudy, cold. It's like, get me out of here. Well, and I think
day after day.
Yeah.
Day after day. Yes.
When
I know what you mean.
When we moved to Chicago, it was one of those things where a year or two before I had made the comment, I would never move to Chicago. And I've learned that was the last time I've said never. I do not say never again, because about the time you do, that's when the world shifts and God says, you know what? You're going to Chicago.
I will never move to Hawaii. Never.
Oh, yeah, me too. Let's do that one.
Yes. So we had that happen. We actually moved back several years ago, and we wound up in Wisconsin, which is even colder than Chicago.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
but yeah, no, we love Kansas City. We and like you say, Chicago was always gray and cloudy and cold, and when we got here, it was wonderful to have the sunshine. Even when it's cold out,
Yeah.
the sun shines. Not today, but we'll get there.
Right, but that is true most of the time. I had moved. Well, we had both moved before we were married, but when we decided to get married and move to Kansas City, um, Bill and I, every storm front, we moved from Omaha, and every storm front hits Omaha. I mean, every single one of those bands. But a lot of the time, they miss Kansas City. So we found the same thing. Just moving just 3 or 4 hours south, Kansas City was more mild than Omaha was. And the sun shines almost all the time, even when it's freezing, bitter cold. Now, of course, when it rains and snows, it's not sunny, but that does make a huge difference. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And on your demeanor sometimes that 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 can change that can change a day.
Yeah. And you are breaking up a
Froze
little
out
bit.
on me there.
I was going to say, yeah,
Yeah.
you're kind of floating in and out. I don't know if it's doing the same thing to everybody else, but let's get into our subject. So y'all, if y'all remember, we've been talking about the power of words and just how important it is, and what do we think about the word. So today, the word is health. And truthfully, when I think of the word health, I really think of really what's the status of your body, because I'm not sure from your doctoral standpoint, and you can fill us in on and I need to have you do that here in a quick second, as to why I would want you on here, because you have such great knowledge. You're working on you're finishing your doctorate, like, so cool. But for me, when I just think of health, I don't really think of weight or diet. I think a lot of people do. I just kind of think, what is the status of my body? So whatever that means. And in some of my places, I'm pretty good. In some of my places, I'm not so good. But that is right now, today, is the status of my body. So is that sort of correct to have a look at it?
That is an excellent way to look at it. And you're probably ahead of 90% of the people out there, because a lot of people just don't pay any attention. Our body is a machine, and it's supposed to function a certain way. And if you have a headache, that means something. Of course, we're not going to say, oh no, I have a tumor. But if there's a headache, it could mean, I'm dehydrated, I didn't drink enough water, or maybe it's an allergy. It could be a whole different things. But if you're not aware of it, um, that's a lot of people are not aware of what's going on in their bodies, and then sometimes they're almost like sideswiped. Then something major pops up, and perhaps the warning signs were always there and they just never noticed. But like you said, what's the status of your body? That's an excellent way to look at it. And not just physically too. Not just physically. My perspective is soul, body, spirit. So the soul is the way you think. Of course, the body is how it functions, and then the spiritual part is that connection to God. So I've said this a lot to a lot of my clients. The way we think, I believe.
Right.
There
Well,
goes the
this
dog.
is live. So hold on. You go ahead, Laura, because Bill's not here to take
Okay,
care
she's gonna go get her dog. My dog's not barking. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Karen. Hi, Kathy. I'll just talk to everybody until the dog comes back.
Okay.
There we go.
And I'll get to see, she got scalped last week because she got so matted with her hair was like 4 inches long, because she's a Havanese, and she got scalped. So anyway, so I'm going to see if I can't keep her quiet. Continue on.
She
This
is
is
cute.
Gabby, and she gabs.
So now I forgot what I was saying.
So about the spiritual, like connecting mind,
Yes.
body, spirit.
Mind, body, spirit. I talk a lot about with my clients. I call it stinking thinking. The way we think, in my experience in working with people, is probably about 90% um, of how it affects our health. So if you have bad and negative thoughts, um, it might eventually show up in your body. And actually, there are a lot of studies out there that are starting to show cancers, and they're correlating, in one example, liver cancer, with angry people, with people that are constantly negative and constantly fighting, those kinds of things. But it makes sense the way we are designed. Everything works together, everything overlaps each other, and if you're not thinking correctly, that does get quote unquote absorbed into your body.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
but yes, by saying what is my body status, that's a good reminder in your head, like what's going on.
Mhm. And I think like sometimes, something will come and you'll think, oh yeah, I've been having, and I don't have headaches very often. So when I have a headache, something's off because I hardly ever have them. And it's like, wow, where did this come from? But I think sometimes we don't pay attention to our body. Your body, like
Right.
you were saying, is giving us little signals. So if you're having consistent headaches, well, maybe, obviously that is something's going on, you know, see if you can't find the cause and not just keep taking Tylenol or whatever, um, because sometimes the things you're taking are really just, all they're doing
Right.
is really masking it and not helping. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that is
And I see
correct.
Kathy said,
Medication.
Gabrielle, dear Bella. Yes.
Yeah. All the
So
dogs
we
got to
got
get
our,
the fur babies in.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Medications or over the counter, drugs, are just chemicals that basically shut down a symptom. That's basically it. Um, you know, uh, the subject of headaches, what I do, like, let's say you came to me and said, I have headaches. The first question I ask everybody is, what did you eat? Because what we put in our mouths is the biggie. We may have allergies or intolerances that we're unaware of. And a lot of times I have my clients track what they're eating so they can maybe find a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
But because our food nowadays, um, if you buy conventional food, a lot of it is processed. A lot of it, the genetics in it is they've messed with it. So it is being put into our bodies. It may be lettuce, but the body may not recognize it as lettuce, and that's where we get
Wow.
into trouble. Yeah.
Even something
So,
as basic as lettuce. Wow.
mhm. Yes.
So,
Yes.
well,
Plus,
so in
plus,
it, yeah, sorry, we kind of keep in and outing each other, so I
yeah,
apologize.
my internet is acting funny again, so I will try and keep up with you.
So, and I think too, I think part of, for me anyway, um, when I think of health, I also think of energy because, when I am feeling better and I have more energy, then I feel like I'm in a better, body status. I'm in a better place. And when I get sluggish and not feeling well, then that's a sign that something's off. So for me, I really relate a lot of health to energy. What is my energy level?
That's good. That's good. And the basics that we all know that we might ignore. Rest, sleep is a biggie. We
Is
should
that
get
right?
enough rest. And what that basically means is that, and I tell people 7 to 9 hours. A lot of us don't sleep seven hours even, but if you can, because of course that gives your body the chance to regenerate and start all over. If you're hitting a wall at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you don't get enough rest, that might be, that's one of those, that might be a signal to something going on. But yes, energy is a biggie, of course. Lack of energy could mean not enough rest. You could be, once again, getting back to the food piece, not eating the correct foods, eating too much sugar, and your blood sugar is crashing. It could be a plethora of things,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
it's just being aware.
On the sleep thing, I really am trying to do better in the sleeping. I just find, and I know because I've read and heard this so many times about getting 7, 8 hours of sleep or something. when I get 6 is when I feel my best. But it could be because that's been my routine for 20 years. Like 5, 6 hours is usually where my sleep zone is. And when I go to bed at 10 to try to sleep till 6, it really just doesn't
Doesn't
happen.
work.
So
Yes.
should I be concerned about that?
As long as you're getting enough and you still feel energized, I wouldn't be very concerned. But if you start, quote unquote, tanking and dragging, then I would set, and I tell people to set habits. Like if you go to bed at the same time every night, that's a good habit. Put the phone away, turn the TV off at least an hour before you go to bed. And
Ooh.
also, yeah, it's the whole blue light thing, and that actually revs up your brain and gets your cortisol going. And so you'll be, some people can't fall asleep. But yeah, if you're feeling okay on 6, that might be just what you need.
Interesting.
But if you're dragging at 6, that's kind of your little flag that maybe you need a little more sleep.
Okay. Okay. Because I thought, okay, because they say that you live longer, whatever, if you sleep more, like the whole over the on health thing of sleeping more will, you'll live longer. So I mean, it's like, okay, I need to try to do this.
Right. But of course, on the other side of that, if you're sleeping 10, 12 hours and all you're doing is sleeping, I think there might be something wrong.
That I would make that.
It might be a little symptom.
So what would you say if you were to give us the top 3 or top 5? I'll let you pick. What are the top whatever's 3 or 5 things that you look at as far as overall health and things that maybe we can look at to start giving us a guide as to our health?
Well, like the top 3 or 5 that would be good for your health. The first thing always, and I will answer this way always, is what are you drinking as far as water? Um, I call it clean water, but you can get bottled water from Walmart, and that unfortunately is not clean. That is marketing. But clean water, I'm of course you and I are part of the Miracles with Water family, so we are all about Kangen, but clean water, something that is alkaline water. Free radicals or cancer cannot grow in alkalized water. Um, and there have been studies on that. Actually, Kangen did some studies on that. But water is number one. Make sure you are hydrated. There are all of these different, it changes from authority to authority on how much water you should drink. I just tell people a general 6 to 8 glasses of water or more. If you're thirsty, drink. If you're constantly thirsty, that might be a flag. But if you're thirsty, you should be drinking water throughout the day. We are made of 70% water, so we do need water to replenish our bodies. That would be number one.
Okay.
There are the deadly 3 I call, and this is a basic for most of my clients. And the deadly 3 are sugar, gluten or wheat, which is has gluten, and dairy. Sugar is probably 10 to 20 times more addictive than cocaine. And guess what they put in our foods? Sugar.
Sugar.
It's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you can cut out sugar, that's I mean it's everywhere. It's everywhere. But that's a biggie. Gluten, the wheat is a biggie because our foods are not natural anymore, and they're genetically modifying them. Changing the structure of the seeds before they plant them, and then they're spraying them with pesticides. The body is not recognizing the protein; it's actually attacking itself. The body is attacking itself when you eat wheat, and so a lot of us have intolerances. Some people may have an intolerance and don't know it yet. It may show up in congestion. It may show up in stomach aches. It may show up in like edema or swelling. But wheat is a nasty because of the genetically modifying. It's really not recognized by the body as a food. Dairy. Everybody thinks, oh, dairy, it's good for my bones. Well, actually, dairy, the type of dairy we drink off the shelf, is actually leaching calcium and other minerals from your bones, which is crazy, but there have been medical studies on that. And plus, all of the junk that's in the milk, they're giving cows antibiotics not to get sick because they're
Oh,
eating,
no.
yeah, wait, they're eating corn. Corn is not real good for cows. They don't digest it well, so they get sick, so they get antibiotics and hormones. I mean, it's a whole big deal. So dairy actually, the body recognizes dairy just like it does the protein in the wheat, and people have intolerances to that too. So let's see, I'm at 4, right? I'm at water, and then the deadly 3, and then I would say the 5th really is an easy. Well, it's not an easy, but easier to understand. It would be stinking thinking. How are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Do you wake up every morning and go, oh, gosh, it's another day? Or do you wake up, thank you, God, thank you for today, thank you for my family. Okay, thank you, it's cloudy out. Thank you for the snow, it looks beautiful. Thank you, I have a roof over my head. Um, really work on if you think you need to. And of course, a lot of people don't think so. But I believe that if you wake up positive, your day is going to be positive. And if you plug into, I plug into God, so that's even better. It's a bonus for me because He's in control. But stinking really does affect the body. So change your thinking.
Mhm.
So
And I
those
think
would be my top.
yeah, absolutely. And that's really true in everything in our life. I mean, I hadn't really thought of it so much in terms of my health, other than the more I think about what I shouldn't be doing, the worse I am in my behavior. I mean, from a food standpoint, I've been pretty much on. I have tried every diet in the world that there is out there, and then it's just like, then sometimes I just think, what? I am so sick of having to think about it. I just want to live my life and do so. Looking at it, so changing from a diet being, something to be on with do's and don'ts. Really, that what am I eating? Because my diet is really what you're eating. So right? I mean, so
Correct.
what
Correct.
consists of what you're eating is really what's your diet, as opposed to thinking that we have to be on the whoever they are, the Weight Watchers or all the other numbers of them. And what I really have found through all of the ones I've been on, and like I said, I've been on just about every one. I was on, I hate to even admit, I even did Fin for years back there, where now we know how bad that is. But I found one thing to be true, and that they will all work if I do them. I mean,
yes, diets do work. Diets work. With the people that I work with, I don't call it a diet. I call
right.
it a lifestyle change, because actually it is a lifestyle change and it is a choice. But really, when you think about it, yes, diets work. You do lose weight. The problem with diets is they don't teach you anything after you're finished with a diet. So majority of people, once they're off the diet, will gain the weight back plus.
And I think that's really, I think, like you said, it really is making the shift in, how do I want to be for the rest of my life? What's a lifestyle change that I can make? And when Bill and I were first married, so Bill and I have been married, we just had our anniversary like 2 weeks ago. And I kept thinking it was 43, but it was 42. So now we're in our 43rd year. So I've been a year ahead of myself all year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we decided we'd renew for a few more and we just keep renewing every couple of years. Just mentally, and then our little jokes that we tell ourselves. But in all these years, just a little aside, because I always have to take these little tangents, follow the rabbit, is that in all of these years, Bill has traveled up until the last 9 months. Now he is out of town. He actually took a trip, first trip since January that he's taken by himself that I haven't been with him. So he's traveled all of our life up until these last 9 months. And it's like, okay, I wonder if we can make another 20 living together full time all the time. Because our friends tease us that the reason we've made it 42 years is because we've only seen each other half the time. So it's just making adjustments. But in any case, let me see if there's anybody's made any other little thing. And Michelle Cruz, I didn't say good morning to you yet. So let me see who else might. Whoops, I got to get my little cursor over here. And okay, I don't see anyone else there. So if you're watching and you want to join us and say hi, you will have to give permission to be live to show your name. But just say good morning and where you are. So it looks like all of our friends right now are from Kansas City area. So it looks like I don't have any people. Jessica often joins us from California, and then we have several here in Vegas that will join us. But like I said, it's 7:30 here, 9:30 there. So the hour.
They're still waking up, huh?
Yeah. Right. So, oh gosh, we're just almost, here we are. So Dr. Laura and I were talking this morning. It's like, I could so easily go on for 45 minutes or something, because it seems like we're always right into a great thing to be. Oh, and Kimberly Lane, one of my cousins. Hi there, honey. How are you? I didn't see her name right a moment ago. That would be so easy to, just keep on, because this is a great subject. So how would you feel? I don't know if it would be next week or whatever, but would you join me again and we can just continue our talk? Because I think there's a whole bunch of things we haven't talked about yet.
I'd love to. That would be fun. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'd love that too. So I'll check back with you on schedule wise. And then we'll just continue this talk, because I think, like you said, when you think that 90% of what you think about is really what happens. So think about, how are we thinking about health? How are we thinking about our food? And how can we begin to make changes? Because you can't change everything all at once, right?
No, it's one little step at a time, and if you fall down, get up and start all over, that's easier said than done. But yeah, it's step by step.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the first step, the first step being water.
Exactly. First step being water. Those other steps, cut out sugar. If you can cut out gluten and dairy, and do it slowly. And then replace those with more fruits and vegetables. Raw or fresh is probably very, the better choice. Organic or non-GMO are at the top of the list. If you can't do the organic, non-GMO, if you can. And just a little tip for everybody, if you can't do either organic or non-GMO, there is a website. It's called the Environmental Working Group, EWG. I do believe it's .com, or it should be .org, and I apologize, I don't remember if it's .org.com. They have lists. It's called the Clean 15 list. They list the top 15 foods that you can eat that have low pesticides on the fruit or vegetable. And then they also have what they call the Dirty Dozen, which are the top 12 foods you should probably eat organically because of the pesticide loads. And one example, for example, is apples. Apples are sprayed from the time they start growing to the time they pull them off the branch. And those will actually help you with your health.
Wow. So that's why I put them in our magic water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. Like, okay, so that's why I didn't know really why I was putting them in and soaking them in the water, but I guess that would be why, because
that will help. But some of them, because they genetically modify the seeds, some of them already are not recognized by the body as food, so or have a high pesticide load in addition to all of that. So, but I think it's ewg.org. I don't know. You'll find it .org or .com, but it's Environmental Working Group. So
good. Yeah, that is great. That is great information. And when we're finished, because it's you could come back, Dr. Laura, and just insert that in the chat box. That way people will see it. So we will continue this conversation, because I have several questions I want to ask you myself, and about, I was listening to something yesterday. I don't know even what you call it. It wasn't really, actually it was an ad. I know that. But he gave, this Dr. Gundry gave so much great information that I thought it rang true. It really rang true. And so I'd like to chat with you about that. That might be something our listeners might like. lectin, which I never really knew what it was. So maybe we can talk about that. So I'm making a list of things we can talk about.
Okay, sounds good.
Anyway, well, everybody, thank you so much. And Dr. Laura, again, thank you for being here. I love it that you guys will spend your morning with us, because the truth is there are so many things you could be watching and looking, and I mean, you could be drinking your coffee out, well, not there outside on your porch, but you could be having your coffee and doing something else. And so I appreciate that you choose to be here, because you do have a lot of choices. So thank you so much. And remember that life is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. Choose wisely, go out and make it a great week. And for goodness sake, make a difference as you go. Bye now. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Next week. Bye.
Bye.